One of the best features of the Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 3 is the automatic needle threader. I'm going to just unthread the needle just right here and hold it while I show you what we're talking about. Once you start using this machine, especially for embroidery, you really start to realize and use these buttons and they become kind of natural, like you're always reaching here to thread your needle. Notice the foot goes down and a needle threader comes around, and when you have thread in there, it will actually pull it through. Now, one of the things I like to tell people is once that thread gets pulled through, you can actually start to sew. You don't have to pull it out. You don't have to fuss with it. You can put your fabric underneath and step on your foot control. If you're in the embroidery side, you can go ahead and just push the start button to start embroidery. So that is one thing that I do like. Now, there's a couple things that make a needle threader not work. Well, those are going to be things like your needle is too small. Yes, there are needles that are so small that the eye is too small for the little hook that is coming forward and pulling that thread through. There's not enough room. So there are needles that you will need to manually thread by hand. That also includes a twin needle or a double needle. Those you'll have to manually thread. And one thing you can get is just a little handheld needle threader. You often find those in sergers these days. But the way this does work is number one, one more thing before we go on, is if your needle is not at the highest position. So if you put a new needle in and you haven't gotten it up as high as it's supposed to be, that you will find that the hole of the needle eye is not lined up with the needle threader. If you keep doing it and wondering why it's not working, it has probably gotten bent. And if that is the case, you sometimes can rebend it, but you might just have your local Husqvarna Viking store help you with that. So here's how it works. Make sure that you are catching this very last guide at the top of the needle. I usually just take my hands, wrap it down, and pull. You will find that the next step is to bring the thread up kind of in this little arm area, and next in the needle threader holder. So it kind of clicks in there. You should be able to let go and it shouldn't fall out. And then the last thing is to take this thread over the side of the machine. There's a thread cutter over here, and I come from the back towards me. Well, what that does is it cuts the perfect length. Remember I said that you can just start to sew, and that's if this isn't too long. I find that that is ideal. Touch the needle threader button. Let the whole mechanism do the thing, and you can kind of see that it's kind of tucked up way back over here, and that's okay. I usually just put my fabric in and start to stitch. Don't spend extra time trying to pull that up and out of the way. But once you do this a couple of times, you'll find yourself just doing it naturally, coming up here, touching the button, threading the machine, and off you go. And again, when you get to embroidery, changing all those colors, you're going to find using that needle threader is such a time saver. So we are continuing on. We're doing nice short videos on every part of the Husqvarna Viking Epic 3. If you haven't already, you're going to find a playlist in the description below. You can start from the beginning and binge watch all the videos, or you can click on this playlist link right here at the end of the video.